Thank you all. I turn it over to Brenda in our next panel to continue with the feeling of hope within our families.
Hello again, Noble. I'm excited to hear from our next panelists as we will discuss their hope for the future of Noble. Please help me in giving a warm virtual welcome to our panelists.
Good morning. My name is Artis Claire. My son is in 11th grade at Rama College Prep.
Hi, my name is Monica Avalos, and I am a Noble alum. Graduated in 2006 from the OC. This is my 9th year at Noble. I've worked at different campuses within Noble in different roles, but I am now back home at the OC. I am a learning specialist and EL coordinator.
Blair?
Hello, my name is Blair Jackson. I'm going into 10th grade. The campus that I attend is Butler College Prep, Links Nation. And the activities I'm involved in is band and poetry.
Nakaya?
Good morning. My name is Nakaya Richardson. I'm a senior at Royal Clark Baptist Science Academy. And the activities I'm involved in is cheer and dance.
Francisco?
Hi everyone, I'm Francisco Huerta. I'm the 9th grade world history teacher at Hansberry College Prep. I'm going into my 7th year teaching at Hansberry, which time went by really fast for me. I'm also a Noble alum, so my time at Noble was longer than just my teaching career. I graduated from Rana College Prep and was a member of its first graduating corps.
Well, thank you guys for being here today with us. Artis and Monica, how does Noble's work to becoming anti-racist hold us more accountable?
My response to this question is my ideal opinion. However, I know the challenge is much more challenging to meet in the real world. Noble's work to become an anti-racist should reflect in its academic platform throughout all Noble schools, not with individual schools from more affluent areas performing significantly higher than others. And although we have like socioeconomic and political barriers to consider, I feel the community should fight to maintain the quality standard or quality academic performance throughout all Noble schools. Mr. Cole and Mr. Cleaves mentioned earlier about community and culture. And we realize in this day and time that every community and every school within that community has its own culture. So the North Side is very different from the West Side. The West Side is very different from the South Side. You have the Pilsen community that's totally different from Lawndale, and Lawndale totally different from Portage Park. So with that being said, having a deep understanding of that community and the culture within that community, we can figure out ways to bring out the best in Noble students.
Thank you for that, Artis. I think we have a great deal of responsibility to learn the histories of our communities and also to make sure, like, no matter where our campuses are, that all of our students have equitable outcomes and like we get equitable results for all of our kids. Monica?
I believe that it's by voicing our journey, we're able to hold each other accountable. You know, it really pushes us to reflect on our practice, reflect on ourselves and how we live on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, with those reflections, I think we've come to realize some, you know, ugly truths and, you know, which are, we have normed on some racist ideas, not only within society, but within Noble. And, you know, the good thing is with those reflections, we've come to realize, you know, this isn't right and we need to make changes, and we have. And, you know, I'll take my own experience as an example. You know, last year I had to modify some health assessments for our English language learners. And I thought I did a great job. I added visuals to the questions. I highlighted, bolded. I even made the questions less wordy, very straightforward. And, I decided to do the same task this year. And I compared, I looked at my test from last year and I was shocked, and the reason why I was shocked is because out of a 40 question test, I only included 1 or 2 pictures of a brown or Black student, and the rest were all white. And not only that, but even for every question or response that had the word strong, I associated that word with a picture of a male student. For every question or response that had a healthy relationship, I had a picture of 2 people of the opposite sex. And that was shocking to me. I said, you know what, this isn't right. This isn't a full representation of my students. This isn't inclusive. And, did I do this on purpose? I don't know. But what I did know at that moment was this isn't right and I need to change it. And so I did. And I really do believe, because we have voice, that we are on this journey toward being an anti-racist organization, that has allowed me to be more reflective on my practice and, work within Noble. And I really do believe as a network, when we say that we're on this same journey, we are going to be committed towards being an anti-racist organization. We're going to be able to hold each other accountable and make sure that we continue this journey until we make things right.
Monica, I appreciate that, you sharing that story, and just the self-work that you're doing to make sure we're looking at things from an anti-racist lens, and we're doing the self-work necessary for us to live that out. Blair and Nakia, what makes you proud about where Noble is and where Noble is headed?
I would say that I'm proud that Noble is speaking on accountability and how we're trying to discuss as a unit how to improve not only for right now, but also the future kids of Noble, both perspective-wise and reality-wise.
Thank you, Blair. We definitely have a great responsibility to hold ourselves accountable. Nakia?
What makes me proud and what I like most about Noble is the structure. Taking a student like me freshman year that practiced bad habits in elementary school and was struggling to follow rules, Noble tends to support me and become more disciplined on how I react to certain things, making sure they never gave up on me no matter what I was going through and how I treated them. Now that I am more improved and more mature student, I will never doubt Noble on the progress that I have made in a lot of students, and they will never fail our youth if they continue what they're doing.
Thank you, Nakia. I think we owe it to all of our kids to make sure we see the human side, and we listen to their stories, and we just continue to bring that beauty out in them. And so, Nakia, I've seen you grow over the years at Roe Clark, and so I really appreciate you being here and sharing your story. Francisco and Artis, our theme this year is get in good trouble. If teachers have to get something right this year, what is it? Why?
As educators this year especially, we need to make sure that we continue to think about all the identities of our students. We're doing a lot of great work to become an anti-racist organization, but we can't stop there. We can't get complacent, and we need to continue to ask the important questions. How are we supporting our undocumented students? Our undocumented students are living in constant fear right now of having their livelihood ripped out from underneath their feet. Our students who don't want college as an option, how are we doing the best to provide them with the support and the correct avenues so that they find success after Noble as well? And our diverse learners, are we providing our diverse learners with the best environments for their supports? Are we providing them with the supports and modifications legally required by their IEPs? I bet there's a lot of people in the crowd right now that will tell you that there's still a lot of work to be done, and we have to get that work done. We can't get complacent. We need to speak up for our kids, because if we don't ask these questions, then who will?
Thank you, Francisco. I agree. We have to continue to ask the tough questions for our kids. These are the kids we choose to work for and to serve in the communities we choose to work at. So thank you for that. Artis?
Yes, I think that teachers should not be afraid to push students harder when it comes to writing in particular. I'm not sure, teachers may be afraid to be afraid of dealing with angry students, parents, or administration if they decide to push a little bit harder with writing. Or it could be because of, as Mr. I believe Cole mentioned earlier, with the SAT testing, the pressure to focus on, national and statewide testing. But, in either case, we're finding that, there are a lot of students graduating out of high school who cannot write. And if they can't write, I don't have hardcore statistics on this, but if you can't write and you're going to college and a lot of your, collegiate work is, you writing, you may have a lot of students dropping out. So personally, I found that I was a teacher for Kennedy King College and also Dawson Tech. I was a PE teacher, but I gave simple writing assignments. So what I found was that most young Black men that graduated out of high school, they couldn't write. They had a hard time articulating themselves on paper, and grammar and punctuation, was a lot, was really off. So I think that should be a focus. I know it's a major challenge, but that should be a focus. So even with my own son, I just learned recently, earlier this year, that he had a difficult time writing. I gave him something to do just to, express his thoughts on paper. He's loquacious. He likes to talk to me about everything. So I said, I want you to write this one down, and we're going to talk about it. So when he wrote it down and I read his paper, I saw there were a lot of issues, and he really struggled with writing. So I think, and he's a straight A student. So there needs to be a lot of emphasis on writing in the schools.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. Blair, how do you hold on to your hope for our future?
How I hold on to our future as Noble is through my faith in God, for making opportunities, taking these opportunities to talk on particular issues that are problematic within our system, and to basically sum it up, kind of see where we can improve, and also to see where are we kind of headed, where are we kind of going, both as students and as teachers, in my particular case being from Butler College Prep leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Blair. We definitely have a lot of work to reflect and to just reconsider. Thank you, Artis, Monica, Blair, Nakaya, and Francisco. As I said earlier, Noble's been around for 21 years, and our students and families believe in our culture. It's imperative that as we drive change, that we ensure that they are a part of those conversations. Changing policies and practices without naming and sharing our noble historical context with our students and families only continues to perpetuate all that we aim to dismantle. As an organization, we must be committed to creating outlets to amplify unheard voices and ensure that we elevate the experience of our students and parents while assessing both policy and practice as we live them out.